my engagement rate went up 50% in just 3 weeks, just from sharing those very specific and strategic post topics. And because my engagement rate went up, my reach went up a ton. The number of accounts that my content reached went up 93% in 3 weeks because of this community building strategy. Welcome to the Mompreneur Mastery podcast, where we share actionable Instagram strategies that fit into a busy mom's schedule so that you can get more engagement, more leads, and more sales in less time so you can spend more quality time with your family. I'm Sydney O'Brien, an Instagram strategist who started my business with 3 kids under 5 and found a way to do it without sacrificing quality time with my family and only working 2 to 3 hours a day. I love helping other mom business owners find that seemingly impossible mom work-life balance instead of spending too much time creating content that isn't getting them the results they want. If you're an overwhelmed but very ambitious business owner and you want to strategize the heck out of your Instagram account so that you can save time and make more sales, you're in the right place. Hey, and welcome back to another episode of Mompreneur Mastery. I am your host, Sydney O'Brien, and I'm here today to talk to you about how I increased my Instagram engagement by 50% in just 3 weeks. Okay, so to back up just a little bit before I get into what exactly I did to make this happen. A few weeks ago, I recorded an episode all about 2024 Instagram trends, and I also talked about my own personal goals for my Instagram going into 2024. And the biggest takeaway there was that I wanted to focus on really creating a community in my followers, right? Not just have a bunch of followers. I want that sense of community among my followers. So when I say have an engaged community on Instagram, I don't mean just making sure my content is getting likes or comments. It's not just about the numbers. It's about cultivating this little corner of the internet where followers are more than just passive onlookers and scrollers and double tappers. I want a community that thrives on active participation in comments, in stories, in DMs, where these people are all in my target audience and they go beyond the routine of just scrolling and liking. I want this community where everyone actively contributes to conversations and shares their thoughts and in response to the content I am creating. Now, what sets an engaged community apart from just having a bunch of followers or any number of followers really on Instagram is that it's commitment to two-way communication, right? You have an actual relationship with these people. They're not just numbers on the screen. It's not just broadcasting your message. It's continuous dialogue where your followers' voice is also heard and valued. And that piece is just so important, especially for, online coaches and course creators who really have a very personal brand. That quality engagement takes precedence over just quantity. The emphasis being on building these genuine connections. You want your account to feel like your followers have a sense of belonging and they have common ground with you. There's a connection there where you share similar values, goals, interests, pain points to really build that trust that you need to be able to sell your offers on Instagram. But also it helps with more than that. You get data from these conversations that you have with your ideal clients, these followers that are also in your target audience, and you can use that data to learn how to best help them with your content and with your offers. When you have this community, you're also a lot more likely to get shared by them and their other networks and get referrals from them, which helps your business. And also, the most surefire way to successfully sell your offers on Instagram is to sell them to an engaged community, not just followers that happen to be there. So when you're ready to invite them to buy your services or your course or your digital product, they are going to be much more likely to actually buy. Now, I don't know about you, but I have some pretty big plans for my business in 2024 in terms of new offers. And I want to make sure that these offers are what my audience wants and needs, and are formatted in a way that is most helpful and easily accessible to them. And B, I want to sell them, right? Like, that's why we're all here. We have offers, we have services, we have courses that we want to sell, and we want to use Instagram to do it. So I have been focusing on creating that type of community by sharing very specific types of content. And after just 3 weeks of doing it, here's what has happened with my Instagram account. And to be clear, I don't spend hours on outbound engagement to get these results. I don't have an engagement pod. I don't only post viral trending reels. I don't post 3 times a day. I don't even post every day. But still, by sharing these specific types of posts, my engagement rate went up 50% in just 3 weeks, just from sharing those very specific and strategic post topics. And because my engagement rate went up, my reach went up a ton. The number of accounts that my content reached went up 93% in 3 weeks because of this community building strategy. So now that I have not only a more engaged community, I'm also getting more reach. And it's not just like any reach. The key here is that the engagement is coming from people in my target audience. So when they are engaging with my content, the algorithm notices that and shows my content to more accounts with similar interests. So all of these new accounts that are seeing my content are also in my target audience. So there's this domino effect, right? Where there's more engagement, there's more reach, there's more follows, and more leads for my business because of it, okay? It's not just random people. It's specifically people that I can help with my content, with my offers, and people that are also going to continue this engagement trend. Many, many benefits to having this engagement, this sense of community among your followers. And here is how I did it. There are 3 types of content that get the most comments. 1 is storytelling content. 2 is unpopular opinions or hot takes. And 3 is relatable or empathetic content. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit more. For the first one, storytelling content, this is going to be sharing personal stories, personal experiences, maybe behind the scenes type of content that has a more human touch to it. People react to stories. We like stories. We are hardwired to like and engage with stories. So that is the first type of post I always recommend doing. The second, unpopular opinions or hot takes. This might be a little harder, but they always spark lively discussions. The key here is to don't say stuff just to say stuff. Find things that speak specifically to your target audience that kind of go a little bit against the grain of what other people in your industry are sharing. Think about the advice that people in your industry share that just doesn't quite work for your specific ideal client, and talk about it. It prompts your followers to express their thoughts, whether they agree or disagree. And you get a ton of different perspectives and data that you can use in future content and in shaping your offers. And then the third type was relatable or empathetic content. So when your goal is building a community, you want to go beyond just sharing information. You want your followers to feel understood, right? Build that like and trust factors that I talked about from a few episodes back. So when you incorporate this super relatable content, you can share, vulnerability. You can share common challenges that you have faced that they are also facing, or uplifting stories, how you got past those challenges. You're fostering the sense of empathy and connection, and encourages your audience to open up and share their experiences and contribute to that community that you are trying to create. If you are interested in having that domino effect of the more engagement, the more reach, more followers, more leads, building that sense of community among your Instagram followers, I have actually created a free content calendar that is specifically curated to start conversations so that you're able to get that community that helps your online business in so many ways. It is called 1 Month of Conversation Starters, and I'm going to put the link in the show notes so that you can not only save time and the stress of wondering what the heck do I post, but also know exactly what to post to get these engagement results, to get this increased reach, to get the increased followers, to get the data, to know what to post in the future, to know how to really help and serve your audience and create this engaged, connected community. Again, the link is in the show notes to get a full month of conversation starters. And I just cannot wait to see what you do with it. Thank you so much for listening to another episode of Mompreneur Mastery. I would love it if once you use some of these post topics, you send them to me over on Instagram so I can see just how you've used it. My handle is at socially.yours.strategist. Thank you so much for listening. If this content was helpful for you, if you found it valuable, I would love it if you could leave a review on Apple Podcasts so that other mom business owners can find this episode and get the same tips and strategies to support their business and their families. If you have questions or just want to connect, you can find me over on Instagram. My handle is at socially.yours.strategist.